And so we will go to Mike Woods. All right. Let's talk a little bit. 6'1", 204, 33-inch arms. That's what he comes in at the combine. The Browns have a type when they draft wide receivers, right? These big physical wide receivers. Now, I heard Pete Smith say this the other day, and he brought up a good point. If you want to see why the Browns liked Mike Woods, go watch Arkansas. Do not watch this year at Oklahoma. It was just, I don't know if it was the system. He didn't really get a lot of opportunities to showcase his skill the way he did at Arkansas. If you go right now and you type Mike Woods into YouTube, and I talked about this on the Patreon video, all of the top hits are going to be highlights from Arkansas. So first, I'm going to tell you what I like about Mike Woods. Then we'll talk about some of the issues, and then I'll get Ed and Nick's opinions as well. He's big, he's physical, and he has reliable hands when he gets his hands on the football. So he's got okay athleticism, okay vertical. He had a good broad jump. I think his RAS score was like a 7.35, so it wasn't really anything to write home about. But like, I see a little bit of DPJ. He's not the athlete that DPJ is, but like DPJ has that little subtle shake where he can then burn like he did for a couple big touchdowns last year, where I see Mike Woods do that, where he creates massive amounts of separation. But most of the time he does not. He's not going to burn. He's not a freak athlete. But what he does is he shields the ball from the defender. So your best bet is to throw a ball up for Mike Woods to go up and get it. But the only problem is he's got these 33-inch arms, and he T-Rex arm catches everything. His catch radius for a dude with enormous arms over 6 feet is that of a 5'9" wide receiver with short arms. It doesn't make sense to me. But guess what? That can be coached. So, like, I could see what the Browns want to do with him. He's not an elite athlete. He doesn't have burner speed. He's not going to wow you on tape. But like David Bell, he's a guy that can just go up and get it. They're different kind of players. David Bell's much more productive. But like Mike Woods, you're not looking for him to blow a game open. But if it's 3rd and 8, there's a good chance you can get him for 9 yards. He's not afraid of contact. He will go up and get the ball, and he will take some shots. He's just not going to wow you. He's not going to blow you away. I think of the draft picks, he has the toughest route to not only the 53, but the practice squad. I think Dawson Deaton ends up in the practice squad. I'm not sure Mike Woods even makes the team. So, like, that's where I'm at. But having watched some of his tape, especially stopping watching the Oklahoma tape and going back into Arkansas and say, if I can get that Mike Woods, then I can see why you picked him in the 6th round. Because I'll be honest, I didn't know a ton about him when they were drafted him, because he was in the range where I thought if the Browns took a wide receiver there, it would be a burner. And that's just not what he is. So he's not going to blow you away on tape, but you see some DPJ in there. You see a little bit of David Bell. You see this type when it comes to the players that they have drafted at the position outside of Anthony Schwartz, who still is pretty big. I mean, he's doesn't have a ton of weight, but Anthony Schwartz is, over 6 feet as well. So there's some stuff that I really like. I don't overly love it, but I think you could get a pretty decent chain mover out of Mike Woods.
You know what? The thing that stuck out to me about Mike Woods was just his efficiency. I don't want to say efficiency, effectiveness in the red zone. When you do watch his highlights, he has a lot of touchdown catches. He has a lot of plays that are impactful, and
they're kind of clutch. Clutch plays,
yeah, they're clutch, and that's the words I was searching for. So maybe, and obviously he's a later round pick for a reason, right? But maybe he's not the fastest guy in the world, but the Browns don't always need that, right? You've got Anthony Schwartz, you've got Amari Cooper, who maybe isn't that guy, but will be your alpha. You need reliable catchers that can get open. And
now we are on to Mike Woods. That is our rookie of the week for a deep dive. Guys, if you want to see a little bit more in depth, it's about 15 to 20 minutes. It's exclusive for our Patreon members, patreon.com/BarkingBrowns. I will get it put in the chat here in just a second. You can check that out. Patreon members get a little bit of a film study. I throw some YouTube clips together to try to illustrate some of the points I'm about to make about each player.